Hey guys, Cassie here. So today we're going to focus on that booty burn. Welcome back. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Today we are doing a follow along leg workout.
Hi everyone and welcome. So today we have a 20-minute full body workout.
Welcome to the 2024 Hourglass Challenge. This is a 4-week weighted program that you can find on our new
I saw Lilly Kane's video about red flags of health influencers, and I really was inspired by that to create this video today for you about 5 red flags of fitness gurus or fitness influencers, because we live in a day and age where there is so much knowledge and information. There are so many different workout programs, nutrition protocols, all the things. There's so much data out there. And while that is amazing in some ways, it leads us as the consumers to really have to be thoughtful about what we are consuming and figure out who is actually worth following and who is actually going to give us quality results and send us in the right direction. So today I'm going to share with you 5 red flags of fitness influencers, fitness gurus that you should be on the lookout for, so you know if you can trust them, trust their workouts, so forth and so on. So red flag number 1 is fitness influencers who use clickbait titles for their videos or like thumbnail type art. Now, I get it. I understand the difficulty that it is to be a fitness creator on the space. I genuinely do understand that it is extremely difficult to stand out and to get people to listen and pay attention to you. And I think sometimes people feel like that means that the right thing to do is to use the clickbait psychology, because as viewers, as people, the way that our brain works is that I'm a licensed therapist, by the way. I forgot to mention that part. So the reason part of the way our brain works is that we are biologically programmed to want to conserve our energy as much as humanly possible. And so our brain is always looking to find ways for us to be able to do something that's going to have the greatest results with the least amount of effort and input. And so when you see clickbait titles like sculpted arms or toned abs or, sculpted arms in 2 weeks, those sort of things, thus the impression that we should be able to do those things, when in fact that's not accurate and it's also not how it works. But it gets people to click because in our brain we're like, okay, great, path of least resistance. I can get my abs and I can just do this workout. But unfortunately, you cannot target fat loss. You cannot target specific muscle groups to get them to look a certain way. Just doing a sculpted arms workout is in fact not going to make your arms sculpted if you don't have a low enough body fat percentage to see said sculpted arms. And so when you see this kind of misleading title information, it just sort of makes me wonder, like, are you just doing this for the clicks? And I could be wrong. Maybe it is just a tactic to try to stand out. And I really think this is a twofold problem, honestly. I'm not trying to get on the soapbox, forgive me. I think this is a twofold problem. I think part of the problem is that because of the viewer psychology, viewers click on the videos, which is encouraging the creators to make this kind of like clickable title, right? And so we kind of have to stop giving the clicks to the clickbait things if we want the clickbait things to stop, because it's, a reward process, right? It's a reward-based process. Those are the ones that get the clicks. The ones where you're just saying, leg day, 30-minute leg day, those are the videos that don't get the clicks. But if you say like sculpted legs in 30 days, that's going to get you clicks. And so it incentivizes the creator to use the clickbait titles, where if we would just click the video and click the thing that wasn't, we'd stop getting tricked into. Does this make sense? It's this vicious cycle of back and forth. So it's a twofold problem. Viewers need to stop clicking on the clickbait titles, and the influencers need to stop creating the clickbait titles. And we kind of both need to work together in some way. I really kind of fall in both camps, I feel like, because I make this kind of content so I can appreciate the side, but I also do the workouts, and I know when somebody is clickbaiting me, so I don't watch those videos. So, okay, I'm done. Red flag number 2, extreme transformations. And this is, again, kind of boiling back down to titles and thumbnails that I see if you're like watching from a YouTube standpoint or maybe on like a shorter form. But this is the claims of abs in 2 weeks, or, sculpted arms in 2 weeks, or, get rid of arm flab or whatever. That's precisely what I mean by this. When they put extreme timelines on things, 30 days or less, that to me is a huge red flag. Because again, as much as we would love as human beings, I know I would love it, to get abs in 30 days or abs in 2 weeks, that's not how biology works. You can't spot reduce fat and you can't get abs in 2 weeks. You just can't do it. And so to me, that's a red flag that says you care more about getting the views than you do about the actual science and the truth that real progress takes time. And I think the bigger issue for me, honestly, is that when you tell people abs in 2 weeks, when they don't have abs in 2 weeks, that makes people want to quit and give up. I remember, when I would do these videos and it's like, oh, abs in 2 weeks. Okay, great. Well, when I don't have abs in 2 weeks after this program is over, like you just promised me, how's that going to make me feel as a person? And I know how people are because I work with people every single day who get frustrated and give up on their things because they see what's on social media and they think they can't live up to it because you can't because it's all fake. But it's one of those things where if we were honest and said like this is a good start to help you to build your core as opposed to abs in 2 weeks, but people don't want to click on abs in two. People want to click on abs in 2 weeks. They don't want to say this helps build your core. I mean, that's just the reality. Again, the problem we just talked about. But that's red flag number 2 is extreme transformation promises in titles and thumbnails. Red flag number 3 is no program or progression of any kind. No longer do we live in the days of creating just one and done workouts. That doesn't work. And I think people are starting to catch on to that, which is great. If there's no programming or plan involved in the formatting of, particularly when we're talking about YouTube, right? This is sort of a YouTube focused video, but it could be somewhere else as well. If there's no form of programming or progressive overload in this type of content, you aren't going to build any muscle and you're not going to see any progress. So it's a huge red flag for me for people to post things that don't have any consistency or anything to do with each other without some sort of plan or programming. Now, I'm finding that people who have posts like one video a week, if that's their programming schedule, I'm finding they're putting together calendars in their community playlist or offering those for sale and things like that. And I really truly think that's fine. I really have no problem with people making money through their YouTube content by monetizing it in kind of the way that Sydney Cummings does, where she offers you like her workout program so you know like what's coming and what to follow. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if people are using this as a career, I really truly don't have a problem with that. They're putting in the hard work. This is not like me hating on that, but what I'm saying is that it's a huge red flag for me if it's just like one and done random workouts. And I find the people who do the one and done random workouts are also usually the people who are guilty of red flag number 1 and red flag number 2. So to me, again, that says I'm not super interested in you as a consumer. I'm really more interested in getting the clicks. And so for me, it's a bit of an ethical problem at this point. So red flag number 3, no progression, no plan. You got to have a progression. You got to have a plan or you're going to be stuck or plateaued. So follow people with a program, a plan. I actually did a video not that long ago about how to find the best workout programs on YouTube. I'll link that video for you in a card. It'll be a valuable resource. If you're not sure about this one, that'll be a really good resource. I literally walk you through exactly how I find quality workouts on YouTube. So go watch that next. Hey guys, if you're finding this video useful or helpful in some way, would you do me a huge favor and give it a thumbs up? It lets YouTube know it's useful or helpful in some way so that it will share it out to others. Thank you so much if you do that. Number 4, lack of transparency about what the creators themselves are doing. And this one actually can kind of go into the camp of the kind of content I create, as well as the, content of people who are doing workouts and creating workouts for you. Because oftentimes I think it's easy to assume, and people kind of want you to assume if they have this like great body or perfect body, I'm putting that in quotes, because if the creator has the body that you want, right, you're going to want to subscribe to their workouts because you assume that they are doing those workouts themselves and that's what built their body. Problem is it's just like these celebrity skincare brands, right? If J-Lo's selling a skincare brand, well, guess what? J-Lo's skincare brand didn't exist when she got really great skin. Does that make sense? And so for the most part, most of the time, the people who are doing the workouts didn't necessarily get their body through doing their own program. So that's not really a reliable way to know if someone's program is actually good. You kind of just have to learn and understand how to strength train and like read and listen to people who know about these kinds of things to know if you're actually doing something. And I think it's really helpful. I'm not one of those people who think you can't make YouTube content if you're not like a certified health coach or nutritionist. Obviously not, because I'm not any of those things. I'm speaking from personal experience. But honestly, at this point, I should probably just go ahead and go get a certification for as much information that I read and study about this, because I'm really passionate, really interested, and I'm always looking to improve, to the point where I'm thinking about holistic therapy approach in my office, specifically with the clients I work with on a day-to-day basis, because this is so important to me. But I don't have those letters behind my name yet, so I don't necessarily always think that's the only way to know, but I do think it is important. It might be something to validate, right? A look at a credential, because you never know what these people are doing. I mean, we've seen it a ton as of late. I mean, the girl on TikTok, right, where she got called out for using a GLP-1 while she was selling these programs, right? There's a certain level of transparency that needs to take place if you're going to sell programs on YouTube or online in some form or fashion. There needs to be some level of transparency about what you're doing and what makes you qualified to sell said programs. And I think that's part of the reason why I have been so drawn to Caroline is because I can tell, and you just, it's hard to say, but like you can tell she's actually doing these workouts with you. And it may not be the only thing she does from like a workout standpoint, but you can tell that these are part of her regimen. This is what's helped her maintain the physique she has. And so while we maybe don't know all of the details, I mean, you know about her nutrition if you are subscribed to the app, but it gives you details and information and is transparent about it. And that to me is a green flag. The transparency is a green flag. The lack of transparency is not. Other red flag that I see, and this is again, major red flag, like 10 red flags going up, is when somebody is always trying to sell you something. And it's like a 3 times red flag if it's some sort of supplement or fat burner or something that has like no scientific backing. The amount and volume of times I see this particularly on like the shorter form content stuff, but I'm sure it's there on long form content as well. But like if somebody is always trying to sell you a fat burner or a supplement of some kind, that's like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, right? The reality of weight loss and healthy living in particular is like you got to nail the basics first. Like don't be worrying about the cold plunges, don't be worrying about the supplements, the gummies. You don't need to worry about that stuff until you nail the basics. Like nail the basics and then cross that bridge later. And so if somebody is always trying to make you a sales pitch about a program, or always trying to make you a sales pitch about a supplement or something, like that is a pretty major red flag for me. Again, I'm not saying don't sell things. I don't believe that. Obviously, get your coin. I'm fine with that. However, there is a limit and a line to that I feel like at some point you got to draw out the red flag, right? Because there are creators out there who don't do that and who do sell programs, but who do them in such a way that you know that it's not just like one giant perpetual sales pitch. And I never want that to be this channel either. And so I want to make sure that you guys understand that these are red flags that I aspire to never be. So, anyway, if you found this video useful or helpful, I'd love if you would subscribe and let me be your non-judgy mom friend who comes alongside you to help you reach your goals. And let me know, what are the red flags that you see that really concern you in the health, wellness, fitness space. And until next time, bye friends.